Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning,
In Wheel
8 to
Time
11
car
a.m.
talk
Central.
show. Just ahead, Richard Tomlin from Apex Auto Works with a scary reminder that Pikes Peak is still in Colorado. Plus, Jeff has the cruise in and events calendars, and I'll bring you stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, we always need more Jeff Seekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us today. And Mr. Mars is going to...
Richard.
He's going to go up the mountain.
Richard.
Good morning.
How are you?
Awesome.
How are
Colorado's
things?
good.
Colorado's good, yeah. Well, as long as it's not too good for you. So, Pikes Peak International Hill Climb.
Well, wait a minute. Who's the woman there that's sitting next to him on our video?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhonda. You want to, Richard,
We were
introduce
supposed
Rhonda.
to know that.
I was going to say
Hey,
because
Rhonda.
we know Richard and there's Rhonda, but Rhonda, hi, how are you?
I'm great. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you just fine, thank you. Rhonda, it looks like you're out of this world, and Rhonda represents the big long race out there in West Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
That's when we first
Yes.
talked to her, the Big Bend Open Road Race.
Okay, and so
Well, I brought her to a new race.
yeah, so somehow these two people, race inspired, got together. And Rhonda, are you in Colorado with Richard?
I have been all week, but we have to get back to Texas, so I'm on my way home.
I got you. And
okay.
So how, is he trying to talk you into something you don't want to do or you want to do?
No, he is helping me figure out how to do it. And if I end up not having the guts to do it, then I'm going to try to pump my husband up to do it. But I'll tell you, I drove it in my car just to visualize what it would be like.
Uh-huh.
I illegally got up to 62 miles an hour, and it's crazy.
So you were
The
in your
156 turns, 12 hairpins. Y'all have got to do it.
No, I actually did it. Was it last summer or summer before last? I went up there in a Lexus RX with other people in the car with me, and I know that I did not get over 10 miles an hour, and I white-knuckled it all the way up there, scared to death.
Well, it's beautiful, and it's fun, and it is a thrill.
Yeah.
It is scary,
Uh-huh.
but it's a fun challenge.
And then there's Richard, who's all laid back. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I'll do it backwards.
We do it backwards at 150 miles an hour sideways. There's no big deal.
No.
Richard, what in the world? Now you've brought somebody else into your evil world going up Pikes Peak.
This evil world is great, and I'll highlight that by the fact that there are 74 cars this year. 6 of them are from Texas, so we were one car away from representing 10% of the field at Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. So
Well, congratulations.
Texas is well represented.
Yeah, congratulations. So, what is this? The same car that you had there last year? Now you got 6 of them. Which
Well, there's
one?
6 cars running. My car is not here this year. We took a year off to develop the car. We'll be back next year with ours, but we've got 2 rookies, one from Houston, one from Dallas, 2 returning Houston veterans running, and then 2 from Dallas running this year as well.
I think his car is scared to go up there. That's why it's not running.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Last year we ended up being 12th overall, 3rd in class, and it was a reality of what have we done to make this car faster to come back and spend the money. And it's an investment to be up here for a month with a car and a crew. It adds up significantly. So we took that money and invested in a aftermarket ABS system, traction control, more aero on the car, and of course just a little more power.
Mo Power.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
what are you going to? How are you going to set Rhonda up to do this? I'm assuming Rhonda, you're thinking about your Corvette.
Yes. So we do not have any cars ready yet, but Richard would be involved because we would have to have a complete roll cage, and we're just not there yet. So this trip for me was a learning experience. Try to get behind the scenes, meet as many drivers as I could, see all these amazing cars, learn all these people from all around the world. see what an amazing community out there at Pikes Peak. That community really supports the racers. The racers support the community. It's a two-way street. It's just been a blast
Now,
out there.
Richard,
I'm just learning.
Richard, let me ask you something. A roll cage. What good would that do if you fall off the mountain at 100,000 feet in the air?
At
So
150
there
miles
have
an
been
hour.
cages that have been, we'll call tested. And with each test comes refinement and improvements in what we recommend people build. And then there are requirements for the build as well. And those have not had a significant change in about 5 years. Last year we had a significant one with an impact with one of the Hyundai electric in-cars. And it actually was a 1 7/8 cage. And it had zero deformation after running into rocks directly at 95 mile an hour. There was zero deformation in the cage. So we're pretty close to engineering this stuff that, nothing's really built to jump off of a cliff. But if you were to jump off the cliff, we feel that we have done our best to engineer it so that will not happen based on past incidents.
So there was no impact visual on the roll bar, but they can't find the guy that's driving it.
Or the
He's
car.
gone.
Or the
fine.
car. All it's there is the roll cage.
The roll cage made it.
He was
That's all that
vaporized.
mattered, yeah.
He was
I'll
vaporized.
tell you,
cage
he
made
walked
it.
away, but he did break his ankle. So, there's that.
Well, he hobbled away.
He hopped away. Yeah, absolutely.
So knowing all this, Rhonda, or learning all this, are you considering that roll cage for your Corvette, or are you thinking a different car?
Well, right now the only car I have is those two Corvettes. So the cheapest way out right now would be just to modify the car I have. And I was pleased to see, although there were very few Corvettes, as opposed to the Big Bend race where there's a ton of Corvettes, there was one, and it was a female driver, Tracy. I was very impressed with her. She has modified her car up to spec, and she actually fared very well out there. So I don't have a clue. That's why Richard comes in. There's a ton of things that would have to be done if we were to go this route. But there's also the possibility of borrowing someone else's car, renting someone else's car. So, again, Richard would be my teacher in that.
Well,
avenue.
Barbara, how close are you to make that decision? Are you 50-50 right now, 80-20? Are you leaning
I'd
towards...
say 80-20.
80-20 towards doing it. Okay.
Yes.
What does your husband think?
He
So long as-
really wants me to do it, and if I don't do it, then he's going to do it.
Okay. So either way, there's got to be some changes made in the cars.
I want to go back just
Let's
go
do
back.
one
Let's go-
this year and one next year.
Let's go.
There you
Let's
go.
go back in this conversation just about 2 minutes, and let's talk about renting a car that is I have to be certified to.
Very common up here.
Very common.
Seriously.
Yes.
Well, George, listen, I really appreciate you loaning me the car, and I'm sorry it's got a little dent in it. It only fell 3,000 feet down the side
down
of the
in the
mountain,
valley.
but whatever. How does that work?
But the roll cage is fine.
So normally the way that works is on a vehicle, let's say my car, for example, we rent it. It's rented with an agreement of what the value of the car is. And they usually make a deposit, and it's basically a check that you hold on to. If they wad it up, that check gets cashed. That's usually half the agreed value. And then you usually set it up for 6 months to a year to pay the rest off or to repair what's there.
Okay.
Most everything that goes off can be repaired. Pappas went off yesterday in his BMW at about 75 mile an hour across the rocks. There's some pictures on your Facebook page and mine that Larry Chen got of that car. The car was put back together in 8 hours and was at Fan Fest. I will tech this car today, and it will be racing tomorrow up Pikes Peak again.
Okay, so you got the car that's in shape. The car is qualified. The car is up to specs. What about the driver? The driver's got to have some kind of credential.
He's drunk. He has a lot of liquor in him because he cannot.
Us three go up there to rent a
Altitude
car.
helps
They're not
with
going to
all
rent
that.
us a race car to do that. Sure, Jeff, get in the car and go do it.
Hell no.
No.
Racers are a little bit of a different breed, and you guys know this. Our risk factors are different. Our tolerances are different. What we want to do and the emotions that we want to feel are different. And that adrenaline rush of that car around that mountain is what many live for. You've got men from around the world. We've got from South Africa, from UK, Norway, Japan, Korea.
So
we've got people from all over the world this year. It's really a good mix of cars from around the globe.
So what credentials?
And these are some of the best around.
What credentials does the driver need? You already have to have certain licenses. What licenses are those?
So it's not licenses. What happens is you send in what we call a driver resume. So where have you raced? How long have you been racing?
That's what I want to know, yeah.
Do you instruct? You send in a driver resume, and then you send in a car resume. What car are you going to run? Where's the car been? What has it done? You can't just grab a Miata and throw a cage in it and show up here. It doesn't work like that.
Do you get some sort of a release from the mental institution? I mean, is that part of the requirement as well?
No paperwork required from them.
Okay, just as long as you're out and not bound up in the mental institution, I guess you're good.
Leave your white coat at home.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that you guys maybe miss is all the testing that we do. So if you're new out here, you're usually required to do a test, which happens 2 to 3 weeks before the event. We come up on a weekend, and it's a slower introduction to the mountain and what's going to be happening the following weeks. And just like Rhonda and the Palmers coming out was to introduce them to this process and what happens, because the early mornings up at 2 a.m. to be on the mountain at 4 with car unloaded and running, and first run at 5:05 a.m. is something that most racers have not done unless you've been to Pikes Peak.
Is that in the dark at 5:05?
Yeah,
No, sun's coming up. I mean, you're using headlights, but sun's coming up. It's cracking the horizon. Remember, you're on a mountain, so.
And this year we had to scrape off some frozen hail and.
Oh, hail.
Yeah, because at day 2 we had over 2 inches of hail that accumulated on the middle section, and they actually had to use snow plows to get the hail off the road, not snow.
Man. So, Richard, you're part of the safety, or you're actually part of the organization, not racing.
Correct. We call it the technical committee, and I'm blessed with the fact that it is an organization where I can actually do both. So we're just trying to bring our knowledge and our skills in safety that we've used for now, I guess, almost 30 years of building race cars to make them safer in every respect, and educate as many people as we can on what we've learned and how to make them safer.
So, in other words, a half-mile dirt racetrack going around in circles where you get maybe up to 100 miles an hour at the end of the straightaway, that doesn't do it for you. And I appreciate your knowledge and your guts to do this, but what would possess somebody to do this? Where did you get this from?
This has been going on for 103 years.
No,
it's not just me. There's a lot of crazy people
I'm
out
not
here.
talking about the race itself. I'm talking about you personally.
I don't know, man. It's just an adrenaline rush. That's all I can describe it as. And I think it even plays to like Big Bend when they've done the race once a year. Well, the people who make that race and the people who race in it have finally made the decision to do it twice a year now. So even that's growing because people want to do it more and more.
Yeah, but they're on the ground. They're not 40,000 feet in the air.
Well, we're still on the ground. We're just there's some
feet in the
drops on the edges. Just don't go there.
I get a rush
Yeah,
going
you
to the
just
mailbox.
stay on the road.
I'm just
You're fine.
Well, that's easy for you to
Look
say.
where you want your car to go.
Yeah.
I have 2 brother-in-laws and a sister-in-law that went with me, David, Kathy, and Gary, and my husband Brian, and they all told me the whole way up. I was just driving up to the top as a tourist, and they all said,
Slow
look
down.
where you want the car to go. And the problem with the Pikes Peak is that there's so many beautiful vistas. Once you get above the tree line, a little over 12,000 feet,
You become a tourist.
It's nothing but sky
Sightseeing.
vistas out there.
You look at this completely different than I do. I was looking at it for survival.
It's
What?
It's awesome. I mean, I know it's scary the first time, even when I was
And
a
the
child.
second.
I mean, the first time I went
And
up
the
there
third.
at 14 years old, I was probably in the floorboard. But when you do it more and more and more, you get used to it. It's just like riding a bike. It's muscle memory.
It's like the
it's
guy
not riding a
the guy
bike.
that drove the school bus up there. I swear to you, he was pushing 35, 40 miles an hour in a 65-foot long school bus. He was
built
just
in 1948.
No, it was a relatively new school bus, and nobody in
they're
it
new ones.
except him. He just up
The
there.
interesting one is the water truck. So they have to take water up to the top of the mountain every day for the bathrooms and visitor center.
Yeah.
So that truck comes here every morning about 7:30. You're talking about somebody that knows the mountain well and is pushing a whole bunch of weight up.
The guy that
It's
drives
awesome
the
to
poop
watch him
truck.
drive.
Yeah. And I assume that he drives the poop back down.
I'm sure it has to come down somehow.
Yeah, somehow. Well, this is all just a fascinating click away from death for me, and I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I will expect, since you're not driving, Richard, and Ronnie, you're on your way maybe next year to do this, a full report when you get done with all this.
Be sure and tune in on Mobile1.com on YouTube, and then Racer Magazine, Racer Plus, will actually have live stream. Both of them are doing live streams this year, so if you don't like one channel, you can jump to the other one and have live coverage of what's going on.
And the key word there is live. Yeah,
live.
Not dead.
Keep it alive.
I got it.
There you go.
Richard, Rhonda, it's great to talk to you guys, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
See you soon, guys.
See you soon.
God bless.
I couldn't do it.
No, my palms are sweating just thinking about this right now.
Well, I've never been up there, but I can't imagine what you're talking about. I've been through the Ozarks and the Rockies.
I've heard stories about how you drive, so I'm out. If you're driving,
I'm not. I'm not driving with you. That's for sure. Coming up, Jeff has the cruise in and events calendars, and I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week, and maybe we'll get to the sold cars roundup.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I got it queued up.
Here we go.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good.
Okay, I'm still trying to calm down from that last interview. Hey, be sure and join us for our live show every Saturday, 10 to noon on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And thanks for joining us today. Time now for the Cruise In and Events calendars. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
All right, so next Friday, the 27th, you got a Show and Shine Summer Nights in Friendswood, Texas. Thank you, Friendswood. Show and Shine, the Summer Night Series every Friday in June from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., so it's a nice little evening thing to go on. Events for the kids. They've got stuff for going on for adults. So get out there and check it out. It is at 4121 FM 2351 in Friendswood. Then Saturday of next week, you got Car Meets, Garages and Gearheads in the Woodlands. That goes from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's at 17707 FM 1488 in Magnolia.
A lot of numbers there.
A lot of it. It goes from 9 to 11. So they got special things going on for your family, kids, all that. Pets are allowed. Saturday at the ranch on Saturday next week, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's actually at a Harley-Davidson store, but it's for two-wheelers and four-wheelers. They got a lot of stuff going out there. They got bike washes, car washes, so food trucks and all that good stuff. And then Sunday of next week is Brazoria County Cars and Coffee. That's at 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. That's at 221 Parking Way Street in Lake Jackson, Texas.
Parking Way
Street in Lake Jackson, Texas, Brazoria County. So that goes from 9 to 11. And go out there. There's a lot of stuff going on. Yep, Brazoria County.
All right. Well, we're going to get back to Hemmings Sold Cars Roundup.
Gotcha.
Now that we have both of us, both of you guys here to help, is George with us? Are any of our regular bidders? They were. Well, I wouldn't.
They're getting on Hemmings right now.
I'm getting a lot of comments about that last guest segment. So
yeah. Well,
here you go. What's that?
All right. So this is a 1964 Plymouth Belvedere. This is a tribute car with a 426 Hemi in it.
Oof.
I was never a big fan of the looks of this car, but remember, it's 1964 and it's a Plymouth. It's a 426 Hemi. It's a tribute car. In other words, it wasn't born this way. Somebody turned it into this. Okay. So how much do you think something like this would go for? Now, let me just say this before you do the bidding, okay? It's more than you'd think. As a tribute car, I don't know why. Somebody had to really want this car. And I remember this car because of the nostril on the hood.
Hood
big.
scoop. This thing's got bigger wheels on the back, wider meats on the back.
Well, it's got a 426 Hemi in it, so I'm sure it scoots. So
George says $76.95, which I think won't even buy the tires. But no offense, George. No, I'm going to go for. I'm going to say 65.
I'm not going to go that much. I'm going to go 50.
Well, Jeffrey, you're close. $40,950.
Really?
And regular livery, and I assume that it had a V8 option and not the Hemi. It would have been not much.
No, but the Hemi. I mean.
Well, I know.
The new Hemi's $25,000.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Let's move on to a 1965 Chevrolet Corvette.
Red line.
Now, this looks like knockoffs with red striped tires on it. It looks like a 327 car.
Possibly, yeah.
It's priced, according to what I'm looking at here, as probably, I don't know if it's a numbers matching car, but it sure is a very nice car. Let me put it that way. It's a 65 Chevy Corvette Coupe. How much do you think that sold for?
If the colors were reversed, red interior, blood red interior, white outside, would be worth more, in my opinion. I'm going to go 32,000.
32.
Heitzman says 31, and I'm going to say 40.
How about 82,950?
No, I'm not going to do that.
There's something else there.
I think that it may be a numbers matching car.
Yeah, probably.
82,950. Okay, the next one up, another red car. This is a 1965 Chevrolet Impala convertible.
Oh, wow.
Frame off restoration.
A 65?
327.
Frame off restoration with 2,500 miles on it. How much do you think that this sold for? Frame off restoration.
46.
46. Mars?
And George says 32.9. So I'll go up to 38.
How about 52.5?
Wow.
This is a very
Heitzman was at
remember
35.
the tip off there is a frame off restoration.
Frame off, yeah.
Okay, the next one is Jeff's car. A 1960 Cadillac 62.
Priceless.
Look at the size of those fins.
Yeah, but it's got some work on the rockers. Gee whiz. I'm gonna go light on this. I'm gonna go 17.
17. Mr. Mars?
I'm thinking there's probably more work than that. I would go 12.
12.
I really have no clue.
What about George? What does he say?
Well, I'm looking here. It's
He
looks
agrees
like
with me.
George says 32,599.
Well, he's closer because it went for 20,
No, I'm sorry, 22,000.
24,675.
Ah, very close, George.
Now, you'd have to have another house to hold that.
Yeah.
It won't fit. All right. How about the 1971 Ford Mustang
That's nice.
Mach 1, upgraded 351 Cleveland engine in it. It's had a lot of work done to it. It's very clean looking. How much?
Wow. You go first, Mike.
I'm unfortunately going to have to set up around 28,000.
28?
I'll go 32.
Okay.
And Jeff Heitzman says 41,000.
This car sold for $31,395.
Oh, pretty close.
Yeah, so if you're a Mustang fan, I would think that'd be
Jump on that.
Yeah, I'd jump all
Yeah,
over
George
that.
was at 28,999.
All right, the next one up. This would be for George out in the country. It's 1965 Chevrolet C10. Looks
nice
like it's
rig.
got it. Yeah, it looks like all stock. It's even got those mirrors on there and 65 C10 Chevy.
Fleet-sized bed.
Yeah, fleet side.
16,000.
16.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 16.
Mars?
No, I'm going to go 18. Jeff Heitzman says 25,000.
Okay.
George says 14,900.
17,325.
Yeah, close.
So you guys are pretty close. Couple
Yeah,
more.
those are pretty hot.
Here's in the same pickup family. Here's a 1972, looks stock, 72 Ford F100. Probably a 6-cylinder. My guess is an inline 6. It's clean. I don't know about restored. It's not a show truck or anything.
I got 2 numbers. I'm going to go low. I'm going to go $7,000.
$7,000, Mr. Mars?
I'm going to go 12. George says 14.9. If I'm looking at this right, Heitzman says 19,000.
Okay, it went for $9,850.
I was going to go 9 or 7, and I picked 7.
Well,
be darned.
See, that to me, I'd rather go and buy one of those than a brand new one.
Yeah.
It's got a little pizzazz in it, and there's not a whole lot that can go wrong with it.
And if it does go wrong with it, you have a little chance of being able to work on it or find somebody that can work on it.
And if it's like I think it is, a straight 6 in it, it'll go for 1,000,000 miles.
Yeah.
It's got an M10 on it. Nobody's ripped it off there. That's good.
And it's got those ugly mirrors on it.
I like them.
Anyway, the last car of the day. This is for all of the snoots out there. 2017 Mercedes-Benz C300 convertible. Boy, it looks clean.
It's a pretty color.
I'm going to say don't care, but 46.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
46.
I'm gonna go
Mr.
46.
Mars?
What year did you say it was?
It's a 2017. 2017.
And I'm going to go 28.
Okay.
And I haven't.
George and Jeff?
Somebody said 50.
Jeff says 50,000. I have no idea. It may be a $200,000 car for all I know.
That's why I went mine.
It went for $16,433.
Oh, there you go, Mike.
George said 35,000.
Yeah.
And he said thanks for sending it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. As a gift. All right. A couple of headlines, and then we're going to say goodbye. Ready? Consumers buying big pickups often end up taking out a loan that lasts longer than the warranty. Ram countering by extending powertrain coverage to 10 years, 100,000 miles. Nick Kappa confirmed that just a little while ago, topping the warranties that come with other gasoline-powered trucks sold in the U.S. The extra coverage begins with the 2026 model year trucks and vans, excluding battery electric variants. Ford, GM, and Toyota generally guarantee their powertrains for 5 years or 60,000 miles.
Yep.
And new U.S. electric vehicle registrations fell in April for the first time in 14 months. $7,500 tax credit from the feds, according to S&P, but it's still, sales fell off. EV registrations represented 6.6% the share of light vehicle market, a significant slide from the 7.4% share of EVs that they had earlier. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to wrap up today's show right after these messages.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Well, that's all for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Be sure and check us out online at inwheeltime.com. We're always looking for new, informative, and fun automotive things to bring to our global audience. If you have an idea, event, or a road trip destination you'd like us to feature, let us know. Our email address is info@inwheeltime.com. When you're looking for award-winning car talk, you can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the In Wheel Time app. When you're on the road this summer, grab a podcast from your favorite podcast provider, including the new Sirius XM podcast channel, and be sure to catch us on the Odyssey radio app as well. We video stream our live show every Saturday, 10 to noon on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In Wheel Time video technical director is we always need more Jeff Zekin. The booking agent, video editor, people finder, and do-all, Mike Out of This World Mars. Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Be safe out there. Stay cool. Have a great week. From all of us on the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. See you next week.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.